How to start a garden if you don't have seeds. We wanted to share this way of having a garden anyway, even though you can't buy seeds. During quarantine, many people have been unable to purchase seeds due to shipping restrictions or limited availability. Few sellers can currently make deliveries or have permission to circulate. Let's go that way. This way we can see how we can have a garden even if we don't have a single seed. Here I am with a basket of things we bought at the greengrocers. As I consistently advise, it's best to purchase agroecological products and vegetables from stores that sell them. We know that the seeds have not been treated, and we know they are not fumigated and do not have toxins. They do not work with chemical fertilizers, but everything is based on natural products. Let's start with one of the easiest ones, carrots. What we do is cut off this part as much as possible. We need to find carrots that are as fresh as possible. But well, we will try with what we have to get our seeds. What we are looking at is the possibility of having seeds in certain circumstances where we cannot buy or we cannot get. So we have to try with what we have at hand. We cut them like this, more or less, because we're going to use all this carrot to eat. This one is quite old, but it has some green on it. It doesn't matter, let's see what happens. And we cut them. Well, these carrots, these 3 carrots, we put them on a little tray, whatever it is, like in this case, yes, and we put water on it. Without completely covering it. I know many of you will know this, but it doesn't matter. This is suddenly one of the crops, right? So it's going to help you with that. In the case of the green onion, make sure it has this root. Sometimes they cut them at the greengrocers because they are quite old. So what we're going to take is the same. We're going to leave a little bit, about 2 fingers, yes? And there we cut. And we're going to put this in a tray with water. We're going to add water to this tray. And the best thing is that it stands upright, right? Arranging it with other vegetables is better. See? There it is. So we're going to plant like this. Another one, another green onion there. For example, take a leek and do the same as with a green onion. Take a small piece and place it there. We use everything else in the kitchen. Here we have lettuce. Lettuce usually doesn't come with roots. It doesn't matter, we're going to cut off this part here. Just like that. And this to the bench. Then we have what would be the tomatoes or the bell peppers. They know how to do it perfectly anyway. For the bell pepper, we have to wait a little bit to sow it. Now I'm going to explain well how it is there. And what is here. We are going to take it out, and we already have the seeds directly to plant. And there we already have what would be the seeds of the morrow. Now we'll see the tomato, but first I want to show you something. Here I brought onion. I had put the onion in water yesterday or the day before. You can put it in whole like this in the water with the root down, or you can cut this off and put it in with the root. See? I put it in 1 or 2 days ago, and it's already starting to grow more roots. And then it's going to start growing leaves upwards. Now let's see. Or else what you can also do is peel it, use it, right? Peel it like you would in the kitchen. But then they make a cut like this around what would be the root. Yep. There and there. So they use all this onion
for the
cooking to eat, and they leave the root and the little stem on top, and they put this on the tray like this. Then we have garlic. They put the garlic cloves with the skin directly in water, leave them for 1 or 2 days, and then take them out. And only this little part of the garlic remains, this part facing down towards the water. The avocado. We cut it all around. And this that is here, which is the seed, we remove it, we can clean it a little bit. Everything that would be the avocado cream, we use the avocado in one
delicious salad.
Of course, and they just put this with this little bottom that it has here down and this up. Skewers or anything aren't necessary. With this in water, it will go. We continue now with the tomato. Be patient with me as I show you the top part of the tray. Let's see what happens and why you'll get all the seeds for your garden. In the case of the tomato, we make a cut, whatever it is, in a strainer, and there we throw tomato seeds. They will stay there. So what I do in the kitchen is crush the pulp against the strainer and then rinse it with the faucet. They keep sprinkling and rinsing it by throwing water at it on the faucet. It's much more practical than here, but here is to show you well how it is, right? So I'll be right back. I'm gonna do it in the kitchen.
Well, I'm back here.
There you can see the little seeds of the tomato cleaner and let them dry. I let them dry on a little plastic plate. It dries up. I remove this part, this little pulp, as much as I can. And once it has dried in the plastic container, a very smooth one, I move them a little bit and they come out great without sticking. Because if not, if we put them on cardboard or paper or on some cotton fabric, what happens is that they stick a lot and the seeds can break. So here we have tomato seeds. Well, here for example, this is an old eggplant. It means that it ripened quite a bit. We can cut it. This is how we cut. For eggplants, it's more challenging because, as you can observe, this eggplant, despite ripening considerably, the greengrocer always takes them out very tender, and the little seeds have not yet ripened. They have not finished forming, so we do not have seeds to take out. In the case, for example, of the potato, what we do is take a potato. I'm going to take a smaller potato. Do you put it in water? I mean, if it has water here, but what it's going to cover is up to here more or less with water, and it's going to start sprouting. We arrange this in the trays, and what remains soaking is the root. In all cases, in this case as well, if you can see the carrots and the little garlics all more or less positioned so that only the root gets wet. This is left for about 1 week, and you will notice how they start to sprout leaves, how shoots start to come out from here, from this middle part. I assure you all of this, including the garlic, will sprout and root. When that happens, within about 7 to 10 days, what they do next is take it to its final place, where they are going to plant it and they are going to put soil. Up to here, right? I mean, they are going to make a good hole in the ground with good soil, with compost, and they are going to plant it up to here. That's what's going to make the plant start to grow. And once it grows, it will take some time before it starts to give its flowers and then its seeds. From which they are going to take them out. Obviously, it's not a magical process. It's a process that takes time, but it's an effective process. The carrot, when we plant it in the ground, we are going to put soil up to this part. This one has some small sprouts, for example. What's going to happen is not that we're going to have another carrot. As many images on the internet show us, it's impossible. What it's going to give is seeds. The same thing will happen with onions. It's not going to give us onions, it's going to give us a plant that will later give seeds. And from those seeds, we will be able to plant countless onions and countless carrots. Garlic, on the other hand, we are going to plant it, and when we plant it, another little garlic will be produced. Below, this is the seed of the garlic, so it will produce another garlic. This is a different process that is being done. In the case of lettuce or celery, for example, you also do the same procedure that we did with the green onion and with the leek. It will start to give new lettuce leaves that you can eat, but at the same time, if you let it grow, it will give new flowers and it will give new seeds. The same for the green onion and the same for the leek and the same for the celery as well. Here we have the little bell pepper seeds that we made, and here are the little tomato seeds. These just need to dry and we can plant them. As we are now in autumn. If we want to plant bell pepper, for example, we have to do it in a greenhouse where the cold air doesn't get in. That is a well-sealed, well-made greenhouse. Otherwise, we will have to wait until spring, until September. In the case of bell pepper, tomato, eggplant, pumpkin, watermelon, all of that has to wait until spring. In the case of the potato, we have to wait for it to sprout and then we plant the potato. The sprouts will be left outside, yielding many more little potatoes underground. I know you all like to see the whole process, but what if I were to do the whole process and show you how it works? And it's going to sprout leaves and all that? It would take a long time, and many of you were asking for this video. Because there are many people who can get seeds, or there are many people who are really in an economic problem at this moment. And that doesn't mean they can't start their garden. Although we know it will take them more time, it's not the same as putting a little seed in the ground. It's going to take them more time, but they will be able to do it. It's not that they won't be able to do it, they will be able to have their garden, and that's important. Now, there are many people who are really going through some complicated circumstances, both health-wise and economically.
And if you are realizing,
the universe, the world, the essence, God, whatever you want to call it, each one of us is being given a clear message. It's to return to nature, return to our roots, to be independent. Because if these kinds of things happen, you saw how we are ending up. At the mercy of the powers that control us. So food sovereignty, seed sovereignty is very important. So I think that if you can't buy seeds, even if it takes a little more work, even if you have to fine-tune your patience, it's going to be a great option that you take these measures. And have patience, because your garden is going to fill up with plants anyway. And then, well, you can get seeds from your neighbors. Who knows? For example, you might have a neighbor who has achochas like me and would be delighted to give you some. You just have to ask them, look, maybe they have an avocado tree, for example, so you can ask them for seeds in a little avocado. By planting your avocado seed, you'll have an avocado in about 10 years. Maybe it will give you an avocado, but it doesn't matter. You are planting food with the trees. It takes longer, but what does it matter?
what does it matter?
Do we leave it to our children? If we leave it to our grandchildren, what does it matter that we can't enjoy it anymore? I think we need to start thinking differently, without so much anxiety, without wanting things right away, and start doing more. In planning and also giving to others, leaving to our children, leaving to our grandchildren, leaving to our generations, because the human being is overwhelming sometimes, isn't it? Then, if you want, for example, seeds to have a lemon tree, to have an orange tree, Well, you can get them from the same plant. We have a video on how to plant lemons.
I'll leave it here, over here.
This will be useful for all citrus fruits, lemon, orange, tangerine, grapefruit, for all of them. What I do advise is that you at least buy from a greengrocer. If you can't buy from an organic store, buy from a greengrocer. Don't buy from the supermarket because it's very likely that the seeds won't germinate. Because what the supermarket handles and trades, it's usually associated with fruits and vegetables that are genetically modified, and this unfortunately makes the seeds not prosper. That's why we have to take such good care of our seeds. The seeds of a family garden, an organic garden as it is called, although the real term, the most correct, is an agroecological garden. Care for seeds, share seeds, coexist with seeds, and exchange seeds.
Thanks for watching the video till the end. I really appreciate it. You can subscribe down below, hit the bell so you get all the notifications and stay up to date with the latest videos. You can also check out our social media like Facebook and Instagram. A little thumbs up like this. If you liked it, give a like for the positioning of this video, to share it with others, to help them. And well, thank you very much.
Until next time.